If you've seen a Pop-Tarts commercial recently, then you already know what it was. One of those horrific Pop-Tart walk-around mascots the company is showcasing every 10 minutes on Tubi or whatever streaming service you use. One night I went to Publix around 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night because I hadn't eaten all day and needed something easy. Pop-Tarts were my go-to thing. Not because I toasted them, I didn't even own a toaster. I ate them cold, straight out of the foil. It felt less like breakfast, more just like something I could do at any time of the day, which somehow made it more normal. I remember I was going to grab a box of the brown sugar cinnamon ones. They were my favorite. But then I saw those Nature's Path healthy versions. Not sure why, but I got this tinge of regret, knowing how bad real Pop-Tarts are for you, and decided I should probably go for the healthier version. So that's exactly what I did. Once I checked out, I stepped into the parking lot and noticed it was mostly empty. Cold and quiet. The kind of late-night stillness that makes sound feel exaggerated. As I walked toward my car, I noticed something standing near the cart return. At first, my brain didn't register what it was. That happens when things don't fit into an existing category in your head. You see it, but you can't quite process it. Then it clicked. It was one of those Pop-Tart mascots from the commercials. Not a person holding a sign, not near a display, just a Pop-Tart standing there under a streetlight. I stopped walking and stared. My first thought was that it had to be a marketing stunt, some social media thing. But it felt a little risky to leave a costumed employee alone in an empty parking lot at night. There was no handler, no camera crew, nothing. Just the awkwardly standing Pop-Tart. It raised one arm and waved at me. I nervously chuckled and waved back. Getting into my car faster than I ever thought I could, I locked the doors, sitting there with my hands on the wheel, heart starting to pound. The Pop-Tart didn't approach. It didn't leave either. It just stood there smiling. I told myself it was probably some employee who got a hold of the costume, and it was messing with people in the parking lot. I started the car and drove out to the street. But when I checked the rearview mirror, it was gone. Relief hit at first, then fear. How did it move out of sight that fast? I brushed it off and drove home. My apartment complex was mostly empty since it was student housing on summer break. I parked, grabbed my grocery bag, and headed toward the entrance to my building. That's when I saw it again, standing across the street. Far enough away that I had to focus, but close enough that I knew it was the same one. How did it get there so fast? And why would it follow me? I ran inside, locked the door, and peeked through the window. It crossed the street slowly, bouncing from side to side. Then it stopped and stared up at my apartment. I'd never been so happy to live on the second floor. Then from behind its back, it lifted something up in its right hand. Charlie, my indoor-outdoor cat. Only he had been torn open and blood dripped down the side of the costume, soaking into the frosting-colored fabric. The Pop-Tart's horrific smile never changed. I screamed in horror as I called the cops, even though trying to explain it felt ridiculous. They asked me to repeat myself so many times, I started to doubt my own memory. Yes, a guy in a Pop-Tart suit followed me home and threatened me with my dead cat. I know it sounds crazy. They eventually sent over a car, but by the time they arrived, the Pop-Tart guy was gone. I definitely didn't sleep that night. Every sound felt wrong, and I couldn't get my mind off of what had happened to Charlie. Sometime around 3 a.m., I finally drifted off. That's when the toaster suddenly popped. But remember, I didn't own a toaster. Then the smell came next. Warm cinnamon, artificial sweetness. Not healthy, not organic. The smell of real Pop-Tarts. I crept into the kitchen, and to my horror, the Pop-Tart Mascot stood in my kitchen. Between the counter and the fridge, barely fitting, tilted slightly, covered in blood. It was holding a torn open box of brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts. The rage inside of me came to a boil, and I charged at it. Only suddenly I felt sick to my stomach as it lifted its arm toward me. Once I was on the ground, clutching my stomach, it reached inside my pantry and pulled out the box of Nature's Path pastries, tossing them into the trash. It then wagged one finger at me.
"Never again,"
it said, its voice muffled and sticky. Then it grabbed one of the Pop-Tarts from out of the toaster and handed it to me, aggressively. I took it because when a 6-foot breakfast mascot breaks into your apartment and enforces brand loyalty, you comply. I took a bite and pretended I didn't enjoy it. My kitchen lights flickered as the mascot stood up straight, satisfied. Then it just turned and left my apartment. I haven't seen the mascot since, but every time I walk down the breakfast aisle and even glance at the healthy options, I swear something's watching, and I don't make the mistake anymore that I made that day. I guess some lessons have to be learned the hard way.